What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet, and this is your Monday Mailbag number 16. Just as a reminder, this is the first week that we're going to be making a change to the format. I'm going to keep things a little briefer, a little shorter. We're not going to answer every letter that I got this week, even though I promise you I will read every single one. We're only going to talk about a few of the best letters and some of the best points that were made, in the hopes that more people will watch, we can keep you entertained longer, and hopefully we can reach and help more people. That said, let's get started. I'd like to start with this letter I got from an 18-year-old by the name of Wesley. Wesley says he's been struggling with suicidal tendencies for quite some time, and one of the things that's helped keep him here on this planet and keep him happy, healthy, and normal is the game World of Warcraft. Now, for those of you who don't know, I used to be an avid World of Warcraft player, and while I'm not playing right now, it's a game that I constantly think about, it's a game that I constantly read about, it's a game that I am very closely tied to. And of course, it's the game that started my career. I went through a bad breakup in 2007, and World of Warcraft was the game that kept me healthy. In 2009, when my mom passed, my friends from World of Warcraft are the people that kept me grounded. And when at the turn of the century, in the years 98, 99, 2000, EverQuest was the game that did that for me then. You'd be surprised how pivotal gaming can be. That escape from this world into a different one, where all of the challenges and problems you have in this life are left behind, and you can move to a new place and solve new goals and meet new challenges. I think it's wonderful that you're using World of Warcraft to do that for you, Wesley, just like I did, but I want to remind you of something that I forgot during that period of time. You have to focus on your real life as well. You need to improve the quality of your actual life besides the one in World of Warcraft. You need to focus on making it a better place, so you don't need World of Warcraft as that crutch. Eventually, just like for me, World of Warcraft will become that game you play sometimes. Best of luck. Jay from Scotland sent me this drawing with this wonderful caption, "Not all superheroes wear capes." He wrote me a letter saying that his life has been very similar to mine, but it looks like he's met his greener pastures and things are going great for him. Jay, I'm glad that I could play some small role in that. I have a letter here from Ben, who lives in the UK. He's 23. I think there's a lot that we can learn from this letter. He says, I've struggled with chronic depression and an anxiety disorder that no professional has ever been able to diagnose, one that I myself cannot begin to understand. I started to actually believe that I may have been born with some form of chemical cognitive deficiency that has put me into a constant, persistent, and perpetual state of anxiety. It took 90% of my effort and willpower and every single sinew of mental strength that I had to just put on a brave face and pretend like I was doing all right, that every single other normal day-to-day activities became almost impossible. I spent so much energy deflecting, shielding, and protecting myself every single day at school that I barely had any ability to communicate with the other children. I found it incredibly challenging to make friends. I was pretending to be someone that I wasn't, even at the ages of 6 and 7, and it forced me to grow into a mature person very, very quickly, which is an insufferable curse. Becoming self-aware at that age is a terrible burden, because the one thing worse than feeling like you're an outcast is knowing that everyone else views you as one. I learned to deal with the towering infernos and raging torrents of everyday life by bottling and swallowing my emotions, repressing everything I was feeling, and pretending that it just wasn't there. I would hide everything from everyone, even the family members that loved me, and I'd mentally shut myself down so that the name-calling, bullying, and other stuff could not affect me, but of course it still did. This is where I think my problem stems from, and something that I think you may be able to relate to. Beyond all the depression, all of the anxiety, all of the ill feelings, the hopelessness, the lifeless, useless wasteland of my own existence, beyond and above it all lays the single reason for my struggle. Human beings are not meant to be alone. So 3 years ago, after a lifetime of pretending that I was fine, I finally admitted that I wasn't. I admitted to my parents, I admitted to my sister, but most importantly, I was honest with myself. And my God, the relief that I felt when I finally let go of my shield, took off my mask, and released my grip on this alternate reality was incredible. It was about as close to happiness as I've ever been. Since then, I've seen a collection of therapists and started to see my life in this world as it actually is. I've started a job where I work on a personal level with other people that struggle through depression and anxiety and help them to have more manageable lives. I've begun to socialize with groups of new people, and I attempt to do everything that I can to get myself outside and away from being isolated. Ben's experience is a fairly common one. One of the biggest steps in any self-recovery program, such as Alcoholics Anonymous or anything to that effect, is to admit that there's a problem, to accept that that problem is there, and to hand yourself over to a higher power, whether that be God or the program or your family or someone you love, or even just surrender to yourself. The reality of it is, if you can't face that problem head on, if you can't admit that it's there, you can't start working on it. And that sounds exactly like what Ben has done here. When you suffer from any number of mental problems, whether it be anxiety or depression or things along that lines, it's very easy to find things that work, that allow you to function. One of the things that I chose to do was to overeat to compensate for the feelings that I was having. But in cases like mine, the solution became the problem. Now that's what I have to fix along with my depression. If you're out there and watching and you're having problems right now, I highly recommend, and I know Ben would highly recommend, that you admit that the problem is there and you start seeking help and therapy for it today. Cody sent me this chibi drawing of Link from Legend of Zelda. He also wants to know if I have any advice for an overweight teenager who's about to start high school. Boy, do I. My first bit of advice is to lose the weight. I know it's a lot easier said than done, and I know you've already lost 40 pounds, and I'm proud of you for doing it. Keep working at it. Stay active, eat less, eat a right amount of food, eat the right types of food, and lose it while you're still young. Trust me, it's the right way to go. Secondly, know that high school can be tough for almost anybody. People are going to bust your balls, and they're going to make fun of your weight, and if you weren't overweight, they'd find something else to pick on you about. That's kind of part of high school. You're going to get hazed, you're going to get bullied, you're going to have to deal with some shit. If it gets too out of hand, you need to go to an authority figure, you may need to stand up for yourself, you may need to basically end it one way or the other in a positive, healthy way. No violence if you can avoid it. But know that no matter who or what you are, high school can be hard. Try to remember that high school is temporary. It's 4 short years of a very long lifetime. Nothing that happens there really even matters. You'll make a few friends, you'll make a few enemies, and you'll get through it. But I want you to do this. I want you to use those 4 years to become the best you that you can be. Study as hard as you can, learn as much as you can, get into as many activities as you can, avoid as many bad people as you can, and meet as many good ones. Learn as many skills as you can carry into your adult life, into the real world as you can. That's the way you make the best of high school. And don't let something that some shitty kid tries to say to you do any permanent damage to your heart or to your mind. And you'll be fine. I got this awesome letter from Susan, who's quite clearly a Skylanders fan. She sent me some Skylander cards. She said she couldn't bear to part with the actual figurines, and I'm so glad that you didn't. She says, when I watch your videos, I don't watch them to feel better about myself. I watch them because you're smart, funny, and overall a good person. I wish I was surrounded by people like you, because maybe it's because I'm obese myself, but I feel like I can relate to you, and you are hilarious. I love seeing your videos, no matter what they are. That's awesome. Susan, I love your letter. I love Skylander. It's something that I've just been getting into thanks to one of my friends who works for the company, and I hope you recover well. Thanks for the letter. Also, I wanted to show off this very cool nickel I got from a 12-year-old by the name of Jake. It's from 1910. He's pretty cool, you son of a bitch. I get a letter from Jimmy from New York. And Jimmy writes to say that he's nearly 30. His life is definitely not where he wants it to be. He's screwed up pretty bad, and he's living with a lot of regrets. He's having a lot of trouble recovering from it and doesn't know where his future lies. Jimmy, I may be able to help with that. I suffered from a lot of the same issues that you're suffering from now, and I made some of the very same mistakes that you made. And when I was approaching 30, I was at the end of my web design business. I had no clue what I was going to do. I was very heavy, I was very sick, and I was dealing with a lot of shit. I thought about doing the exact same thing you mentioned in your letter many, many times, and I felt like I had nowhere to go. I just kind of coasted like that for the next few years. And it really wasn't until about 2009 that I decided to try to get my shit together. It was when my mother passed. That was rock bottom for me. So I have to ask you this question, Jimmy. What is rock bottom for you? Hopefully it's here. Hopefully it's the day you sent that letter off to me. Since I don't know you very well, it's very difficult for me to make a very personalized plan for you. But here's what I can tell you. You know you pretty well. So you need to sit down tomorrow and you need to start making a plan to build a better life for yourself. Every single step of the way, you need to figure out who it is you want to be in the next few years, what it is you want to accomplish, and how to accomplish it. Is it going to be getting back into therapy? Is it to try to get a 9-to-5 job? Is it going to be to work constantly trying to push this new job that you said you started in your letter? What is that plan and what is that method? And then once you've made that plan, never let an hour of the day slip by that you're not working towards that new future, that you're not working towards that new you. As for learning to live with the regret, we all fuck up. And I'll admit, you made some pretty big mistakes yourself, but so did I. It's something that I've had to learn to live with, and I think you can learn to live with it too. But trust me on this. Learn to forget and forgive the past. Learn to work towards that new and better you, and learn to try everything it takes to make a better future for yourself and never give up. And, well, with a little bit of luck, it worked for me. I hope it'll work for you too. I also got this trilogy of Star Wars drawing from Zach, and I just wanted to say, Zach, thank you so much, and good luck on your weight loss. Scott M. is a Marine, United States Marine, and said proud of it. I also want you to know that I am so greatly appreciative of your support for all the troops. I do my best, and I thank you sons of bitches for everything you guys do for us. Ryan says that I have served as a bit of a role model for him, as a positive, pro-fat guy. He says that in July of 2011 to 2012, he lost 60 pounds through dieting, but college has caused him to regain a little bit of the weight. I just want to say I hope you get right back into the diet. I hope you start taking good care of yourself, and I hope you lose the weight while you can while you're young. Trust me, I sure wish I did. Nicholas Lee says he lives in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and is looking forward to meeting me at Galaxy Games. Just so you guys know, I'm not always there on a Friday night, but if I ever am and you come in, feel free to walk on, say hello. I met some of the best fans and some of the best people through that magic shop, and I'd love to meet you. JR said something in this letter that I absolutely had to share with you. He says, as I grew up, I began to learn that while our pasts might create us, it is up to us to decide who we will ultimately become. You can either allow your heart to be burned out in the flames of pain and memories of your past, or you can use it to forge your heart into pure gold, impervious to the jeers and taunts of those who are either jealous or allowed their hearts to become charred black. That is motivational stuff, and that's exactly what I needed to hear. I received this letter from a teacher in Denmark that wrote to say, I have an education as a teacher for primary and secondary school. I work teaching kids who have been diagnosed with both physical and mental issues. I teach them about confidence and believing in themselves so they can obtain their dream, and nothing is impossible if you work hard to get it. It's all about having a good life. I have a confession to make, however. I have shown some of your videos in my class to display that you can be happy with who you are and what you like to do. That is awesome. I couldn't ask for you to do anything more. I think it's wonderful that you're helping me inspire and reach kids with mental and physical needs that are above the norm to show them that they can succeed and have the life they want. I thank you so much for doing that. Steph wrote in to ask me a few questions, mostly about my fiance and about our future together, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit this week. In about 6 weeks, me and her are going to be married, which is one of the reasons I'm trying to slow down the length and the size of the mail that's coming to me, and try to focus on keeping a shorter Monday mailbag. You also asked how she deals with me being famous. When she first met me, I was a little well known on YouTube. Now it's getting really big. And when we go to just about anywhere, whether it be a restaurant or going, when we traveled to LA, when we're traveling across country, you'd be surprised how often I'm getting stopped, spotted, and asked for pictures. She's really, really nice about it, though, even though it embarrasses the shit out of her every time. It's adorable. We wanted to live stream the wedding. She just wasn't into it. I'm kind of afraid to even share pictures of that day. It'll be a mostly private affair. But for the most part, she is a wonderful, beautiful woman who takes an incredible amount of patience and kindness and care of me, and I love her for it. And thank you for asking, Steph. Finally, I got a letter that came in the mail, ripped open. There were magic cards in it, and I think all of them were there, though some of them may be missing. It came damaged, but fortunately it got here at all. I'm going to leave the author of the letter anonymous because of the personal issues they're facing. But he says that after 2 years of being with a girl, she cheated on him, and now he doesn't know what to do. At this point, you have to make the decision whether or not there's anything left between you. Some relationships can survive a cheat, and some can't. Either it was meant to be or it wasn't. And you're going to have to make that decision. You have to realize and think about the circumstances in which it happened and determine whether or not you can forgive and you can forget. If you can forgive and you can forget, then you guys can try to move on together. Otherwise, you're going to have to move on separately. But I've had it happen to me more times than I can count. Hopefully it'll never happen again. That's why I'm marrying this one. I wish you the best of luck in recovery. And the only thing I can tell you that helps recovery from something like this is time. It's a waiting game. You'll have to wait it out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap it up for this week's Monday Mailbag. As I said at the beginning, we tried to skip some of the fluffier letters and focus on the really important issues. I hope I was able to help some people out there, and I hope that you learned a little something by listening. Let me know what you think of the new format. Better? Worse? Would you like to see next week be about the same length? Shorter? Longer? What do you want? Well, I'm making this for you. This is all about you. So tell me what it is you want, and I'll talk with you soon.